Alright, now the story in Rage. The story in Rage is pretty damn generic, I'm gonna say right there, because we've seen stories like this all the time in movies and games and anything really. Even in TV shows, we've seen stuff like this, where it's pretty much the post apocalyptic world where you play a guy that wakes up during the post apocalyptic world and you are in charge of pretty much saving the whole world because of all these things that are happening in the post-apocalyptic world, like mutants and people that are trying to take control of other people that are just trying to survive. And you're pretty much set out to go and stop the people that are doing this, try to stop all these mutants that are killing people, and make the whole world right. So we've seen stories like this so many times before. Your character, if your character was like likable and like had a voice, then I could forgive that. The thing is, your character doesn't speak at all. Hell, they don't even give your character a name. So really, I just don't give a damn. So overall, the story might have some cool little characters here and there that you talk to, but for the most part, it's pretty damn generic. So let's go on to the sound. Okay, now the sound in Rage, even though the characters aren't the greatest characters ever in a video game, I will say this. The voice acting is actually pretty damn good in this game. Of course, you have Steve Blum in the game, who comes in later on as a character. And Steve Blum, if you don't know, he's voiced many characters. He voices Wolverine in most of the X-Men games, besides the movie games based on the movies, of course. Many other games, he played the main character in Bulletstorm. He's a great voice actor, and he's in this later on in the game. He's great. John Goodman, who I just talked about in Red State, is in this. He voices a character. I think this might be one of the first time he actually voiced a video game character, and he plays one of the main characters too, and he's great in the game. Everybody else does a great job. The sound effects themselves are fantastic. They really are. When you're like in the wasteland, you'll hear like little creeping sounds of mutants and stuff. It sounds great. It really does. The sound design is fantastic, and the soundtrack is actually not great, but it's it goes with the game. So I'll say this: the sound is fantastic. It's definitely better than the story. So let's go on to the graphics. Now the graphics for Rage. What can I say about the graphics that hasn't already been said before? The graphics in this game are absolutely groundbreaking. They really are. Crysis 2, Gears of War 3, those are two fantastic looking games this year. In my opinion, those were my two favorite looking games this year. Rage has blown them two away because, in my opinion, this game is so clean and stylized and just amazing looking. Just the texturing, the animations, they all look fantastic. And just little details like explosions and just the way some of the particles fly in the air when you're walking or when you're running over sand in a car or something. It just looks amazing. The game is just beautiful, and I touched on this a little bit, but the animations are really some of the best ever. They really are. Besides L.A. Noire, which was actually real faces, so that doesn't really count in my opinion. This one was really just, they focused on it, they actually made it, and they look fantastic. They're some of the best animations of all time in my opinion. So overall, I'm just gonna say this: Rage's graphics are astounding, and they're definitely the best of this year. So let's go on to the gameplay. Alright, now the gameplay for Rage. Rage is a open world apocalyptic game, just like a lot of games out there, which mixes two completely different genres together: first person shooting and vehicular racing / combat. For both the shooting and the racing, they control very smoothly and definitely feel like they have been worked on for a very, very long time. For the most part, the gunplay is the meat of Rage, and I gotta say, the gunplay is so responsive and so smooth. Sure, it isn't the most innovative gunplay of all time, but it's so much fun shooting enemies with a variety of guns that you receive throughout the game. Most of them are standard things like pistols, shotguns, you get a crossbow, you get a shot, oh, I already said shotgun, but you get their standard guns that you always get in other games. Besides the guns, you can also construct things like sentry turrets, bots, RC bomb cars, and boomerangs with blades called wing sticks, which can be used to behead enemies when thrown. These things are so much fun to use. You can just put a turret out or a bot out and just watch them cause havoc while you're just sitting there like, yeah, I'm killing everybody without doing anything. It's so much fun. It really is. The story mode itself is structured more like Borderlands was. The open world is more for driving through and getting to different cities, towns, and missions. During the story, you will come across different cities to roam around in, which you can go around and talk to the civilians, do little mini games like card collecting games, like kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh is. You know, it's kind of weird. You can actually collect different cards throughout the whole game. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see when you play the game. You can also get side missions, compete in races, and buy and sell items or upgrades for your guns or your vehicles to make them better. Besides this, there really isn't any other locations that you would like to roam around in, besides maybe to look for useless junk that you could sell to vendors. The campaign itself will take you about 13 to 15 hours to complete, and maybe about 18 to 19 if you try to get every little thing and do all the side missions that are scattered throughout the whole game. But besides just the campaign, you also have multiplayer, which isn't your typical competitive multiplayer like, you know, just like 8-on-8 gunfights like you would see in any other id game. These ones are different. You can actually either do co-op missions with just like a friend, which is pretty much they take a story mission out of the actual story mode. They take it out, they do like put new enemies in it, and you can just play that. Or you could do a vehicular multiplayer mode, which includes races and a Twisted Metal style mode where you just pretty much blow each other up and see who survives. The multiplayer can last you maybe another 7 or 8 hours. So for $60, you're getting about maybe 22 to 23, maybe even 24 hours of content. And hell, if you love it so much, you might want to play it again. I gotta say, Rage is another fantastic game by id Softwares. I love this game, I really do. It's definitely worth the wait. Definitely go try this game out because it is definitely a fantastic game. id Softwares, you're doing a good job. Hopefully we'll see a Rage 2 or maybe Doom 4. Maybe. Hopefully. Anyway, there you go. There's my review for Rage. Thank you and goodbye.